So this is a 2020 model, and what we're going to need is 10W30 oil. We're going to need gear oil. I use an 80-90 weight oil up here in Eastern Canada. We're going to use the little measuring bottle. You can get these at the dollar store for $1 or so. Some white lithium grease, a 10mm socket, and an oil drain bucket. What we're going to do first is pop off the top. So your oil fill location is right here. Your oil site level is right here, and the drain is just below it. It's a 10mm. So the last owner said he just recently did this, but like anything, when I purchase something used, I like to do my own maintenance. That way I get on my own schedule. I'm going to move the arm back. So we're going to undo the oil fill cap. What I'm going to do is tilt the motor slightly towards the plug. That way it's going to drain the oil a little easier, and it's going to cause less oil on the side of the case. As you can see, some's actually coming out of the oil fill when I tilted the motor a bit. Alright, take your 10mm and unscrew your oil drain plug. So you're going to allow that to drain. It is a little bit dirty compared to the other motors. While the oil's draining, I'm actually going to put 250 milliliters of oil in my squeeze bottle. This makes it a lot easier to put the oil in the outboard motor here. And again, you get these at the dollar store for $1. And that's all it takes is 1/4 liter, 250 mil. So it's just barely dripping there, so we're going to give that a wipe. You're going to install a new crush washer on here. You get those right through Honda, and we're going to clean this off and we're going to reinstall it. Alright, so we're going to put the oil in. Again, it's 250 mils. On the side you have your sight glass, and you can see just barely a line here. So that line, which is about halfway up, is actually the full. Full isn't at the top of your sight glass. Full is halfway. So you want it to be just below the halfway point on the sight glass. But again, I have it mixed out to 250 mils, so we're going to put it in. And you can reinstall the fill cap. Fill cap's reinstalled. If you take a look at the sight glass, it's right at the proper level, just below the full line. So we can reinstall the top. And just want to make a note, on the back of the engine is where your spark plug's at. So if you want to change your plug, you pop off the spark plug boot. And it's an NGK LR4C plug. So on the side of the motor, you have a grease point. You're going to grease right here, and you're going to put some white lithium grease right around here. This is where the motor spins around the shaft when you're putting it into reverse. So put a little bit here and grease right here. And any grease points that actually don't have a grease fitting, you want to spray some penetrating oil or white lithium grease in there where it's spinning. And you're going to want to check your anode. If you need to replace this, it's literally just 2 bolts you take out, anode pulls off, and you replace it. To grease your propeller shaft, it's literally you just take out this cotter pin, propeller just pops up, you put a little bit of white lithium grease on it and reinstall your propeller. So what we're going to do next is the lower end fluid. So to change your lower end fluid, you're going to remove your oil drain, which is a flathead, and your oil level at the top. This will help drain it quicker. So once it's done draining, you're going to clean off the area, and you're going to want to reinstall new O-rings or crush washers onto your oil drain plug. You can get those right through Honda. Alright, so we're going to put in our new gear oil. So you're going to squeeze it from the bottom. Always fill it from the bottom because that takes the air out of the lower end unit. You don't fill from the top. So once you squeeze it from the bottom and you start seeing it come from out of the top, you put the screw back in. So see how it's flowing out? You're going to put the top one in. There you go. That's how to do a basic service on your Honda 2.3 horsepower outboard motor. Again, how to change the engine oil, your gear case oil in your lower end unit, where to grease it. And one thing I always recommend, always use Supreme or high test fuel in it without ethanol. That way it lasts longer, because a lot of times these sit with fuel in it for quite a while. And this only takes a little over a liter in the tank, so for the extra couple cents, always run the best fuel that you can buy for them. And again, my last video was doing all the service on my Yamaha outboard motors, and this was the full service on the Honda 2.3 horsepower. Again, this literally costs maybe a couple dollars to service this. You don't need to take it to a service shop for them to do what I just showed you. This literally takes 5 minutes to do. And I'll do this definitely once a year at the very minimum. And it will always be done before it's put away for the winter. And again, I would only put a couple hours on this motor. Like I mentioned in the last video, I have this 9 horsepower 2-stroke outboard that's been in our family since new. If I get enough comments on this, I'll do a full service on this and we'll see if we can get this thing fired up. Again, I hope you found this video helpful. Again, this is a Honda 4-stroke. They're air cooled. The Yamaha are actually water cooled. They have a little impeller right in here compared to this. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure you post them below and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care.